Hey Libra, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I am here doing your, oh, there's a bee right there. Can you see that? And the flowers, which is nice, but we love the bees. Just don't sting me, little bee. I'm here for your July 2016 tarot reading. So, I'm using my handy standby deck, my Arthurian Legend deck, my special deck, my favorite deck. It wasn't the first deck I ever got, but we've been together for a long time. And as my son, I was asking him, which deck should I use? Because I have like 30 decks now, and I just got this big credit from Amazon because I read a lot and I read on my Kindle. I just got a $148 credit from some, I don't know, antitrust class action lawsuit or something. So I'm like, oh, how many tarot? I'm trying to prioritize the tarot decks I'm going to buy. Although there are a couple that aren't on Amazon, like the Line Strider, I think it's called. That one I have my eye on. What's that new beautiful one? I'm forgetting. I had been watching that one be developed. It has very like soothing, oceany, modern colors. Oh, you guys will know what I'm talking about. Okay, I gotta focus because I'll just be sitting here babbling and shuffling and not focusing. So Libra, July 2016. So I'm going to do work. This just came out for Sag. Let's focus you down a little bit. Nice, a meeting of the minds, negotiations, but very deep ones. Like this is a big deal. The Fool. I love the Fool in the home life. Here's another bee. Hi, bees. One of you knows the significance of bees. Usually I have hummingbirds, but my hummingbird feeder needs to be filled, so we probably won't have the hummingbirds, but the bees are here instead. So if you know what the significance of bees are, please leave it in the comments so everyone can benefit. Wow. You guys, these are some beautiful cards. Oh, interesting. Well, so the focus card is the Three of Swords. Oh, dear. So not a great card. But I'm so proud of you, Libra, because I can already tell that the way you're dealing with this and approaching this situation is amazing. And you guys are amazing. You're so generous and thoughtful and try so hard to be fair and balanced. Sometimes you guys are too fair and balanced that you give unnecessary chances too many times to people who don't deserve them, in the perspective of other signs at least. But I feel like you're going to take action. You're not going to keep giving chances. And I see some beautiful new beginnings blooming out of a situation where some things may have come to light that are not ideal. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. So the lesson of the Nine of Wands is, it's interesting. In this deck, it's sort of like, I don't know if there's a shipwreck, or it looks like the aftermath of a battle, a natural disaster. like these things have washed up on these rocky shores, that things are being, like that idea of just being waves just crashing you. You ever get caught in waves on the ocean, and it just feels like, I remember when I was little, I had never been around the ocean. I think we were in Nantucket, and going and playing in the waves and just getting like them crashing on me, where I couldn't, it was difficult to, it was like I would just try to get up and another one would come, and it was scary because I just kept getting beaten, knocked back down, and caught up in these waves, and I finally got out of it, but it was really scary. But what happened was that, one, I learned to respect water, and learned about the ocean more, so I didn't put myself in that situation again. So, yes. And that is going with this Three of Swords, where it's like we just got is like the last wave, the last straw that beat us down, and we are finally like, you know what? I'm not going to continue to put myself in that situation anymore. So this can be on a big level, a small level, just one area of your life. But remember, these types of situations tend to permeate into all areas of our life, which is why balance is such an important concept. Because if you're allowing someone to treat you poorly, or a situation to get you down in one area of your life, it would be very difficult for it not to affect other areas negatively. Okay. In the work category, we have the Hermit. It's being very philosophical about things happening at work, really turning within and saying, is this where I want to work? Is this my life purpose? Does my work have purpose? Is there something missing? Am I happy about this? Am I doing work I'm proud of, that's fulfilling? Asking yourself all these types of philosophical questions in the where work is concerned. So really digging deep, going within, figuring out what your values are, and does where your work or the job you're in reflect your core values. And there's no real, I'm this reading for the work category doesn't necessarily say, oh, you're going to leave your job, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's just asking you to really consider that. This card, though, does, however, show what I call negotiations. So these two people are coming together on, and I read this card very differently in this deck than I do in other decks. Usually this is juggling a lot, and it could be that that's the motivation behind this negotiation, that you have too much going on, and you need to figure things out. But this is, they're high up above the water, which represents emotions. So, and they're meeting to me on neutral ground. Like he's coming from here, he's coming from this way. So it's neutral ground, not letting their emotions get involved in the situation. And this is a very practical discussion. So if you do have to have any discussions at work, again, come together in good faith and try to leave your emotions out of the situation and have it be fact-based, and just talk about it. Or if you're negotiating something at work, really thoughtfully keep your emotions out of it. In the home category, we have these amazing cards. We have the Fool, which is such a freeing energy. It's letting go, leaving things behind, and it's not running away though. It's a more thoughtful card for me than a lot of readers read, and I'm not saying they're wrong, they're totally right, but for whatever reason, the Fool to me has taken on a different meaning. And this happens when you read the tarot. At first, you memorize the book meanings, and that's perfect. That's great. But then, as it's always evolving for me. So the Fool card, what it means right now, could change in a couple years depending on situations in my life. Um, sometimes you just have these epiphanies of something happening in your life, and you're like, oh my God, that's the Fool card. And because of it, you see it in a different way. So that's one of the awesome things about tarot is you're always learning, and your interpretation and meaning behind the cards is always shifting a little and growing and becoming deeper. You have a much, you get a much, like the meanings behind each card, you create like a catalog of different meanings each card can have. And again, that's why I prefer using a lot of decks, because I do tend to read certain cards in certain decks a little different. I know what the traditional meaning is, but then because of the way it's represented and interpreted in a certain deck, I may go a different way with it. So this card, the Fool card, to me, I don't think the Fool is foolish. He knows that you can't please everyone, and sometimes you need to go for it, even though you know some people might not like it. Some people are going to think you're a fool. Um, it may be taking a leap of faith, all those things. The Fool knows that, and he's doing it anyway. And that's how he's living his life and going to get anywhere. Because if you always play it safe or always wait for the exact right moment, you may never do anything. So he's taking a chance on himself and his what he wants out of life, and going for it. And so he's living authentically. And I think that's an amazing card to get in your home life outside of work category. And he doesn't have a lot of baggage. He lets it go. He's not going to be down here scrambling for these things. He's going to appreciate that they're lost and crash up against the waves and say, you know what? Now I'm sort of free from it, because maybe that happened for a reason, and now I have less baggage and I can move more freely forward. And there's an enormous amount of wisdom you are gaining again this month, because you're going to be able to share that with others, and you're feeling balanced. This is a balanced card. Often I don't think there is in this card, but often there are scales in this card as well as the Justice card, and that's you, Libra, balance. So you're going to feel much more balanced, like you're not going to be overburdened or weighed down by things in particular. This is a tangible things. You're going to feel more balanced. Maybe you guys are downsizing. Maybe you're moving to a place where homes are more affordable. Things like that. But you're finding you're feeling much more balanced, and you're going to do that, interestingly enough, by letting some things go. Letting go of control, I think, is kind of what it's at the heart of it, is realizing you can't control some things, and you're going to feel much freer and release yourself to do other things, because you're not going to feel bound and controlled by things you actually can't even really control in the first place. So it's a false sense of security. In the love category, we have the Hanged Man. It's interesting. In this deck, again, he's not upside down. Sorry. Getting a different perspective, seeing things differently. using downtime or time when you feel like things aren't happening or moving the way you want to really try to gain a different perspective. Consider the other person's side. Consider people not in the situation, how they would view the situation. And you're excellent at this. Is your forte, Libra. So you're going to have a different, so some sort of aha moment is going to come about where your love life is concerned. And then you have this Queen of Wands, which is, she's very passionate, and I love her in this deck because you can see they're very choppy waters. Like there's a lot of stuff going on around her. She's on a boat. It's the waves. Here we have that. It's interesting. The waves keep coming up. I don't know if some of you are going to the ocean, or there's going to be a lot of emotional stuff going on, but she's just, she's balanced here, but she is looking forward. Nothing is going to deter her from where she wants to be, where she wants to go. So you have a very clear picture of how you want things to go in your love life, and you're not going to settle. And you're not going to let some emotional turmoil knock you off your course, your path. You have the end goal in mind, and you're strong and steady. So this could mean, if you're with someone, your partner may be going through a difficult time, but you're their rock. Or you're not going to settle for something that isn't truly what you want, and you're going to keep moving on and leave emotional turmoil behind because you know what you want and you're not going to settle. I love that. Now your spirituality cards over here, you have the World coming full circle. You guys are moving on to something new. And with this, to have the Universe, the World card, and the Fool in the same reading is amazing. It's like you're wrapping something up and you're moving on with something new. And we do have the Four of Cups. So this is just showing me that, because we're not all just feeling happy all the time or sad all the time. We're much more complex than that. There is going to be a little bit feeling of, people read this card as sort of depression or apathy in it. Yeah, it's just like you're not going to be truly content until there is this little bit of sadness still with you as you're leaving July because of what happened. And that's totally normal. I mean, we can't just, even if we're moving on and we're doing well and we're excited about where we're headed now, we've made some good decisions, it doesn't mean on some level we're still not going to feel a little sad or a little bit numb, or there's not going to be some residual emotions from what has happened. So just be aware of that and acknowledge it and know that it's normal, but just sort of be mindful that you keep working through it and try to let it go. So the universe really is a culmination of things, and I could see that. So something is going to come to an end, and it's a good thing. And then you're starting out fresh again with excitement and the passion of this Queen. But it's not going to be like this crazy Fool energy, because it's balanced with this very practical Six of Pentacles. Some of you may be volunteering and finding that very fulfilling, or you may want to help others more, and that's going to bring a lot of happiness and more balance into your life. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you have a wonderful month of July, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.